So then, boys and girls, today we're going to be sharpening some knives. Probably not all of these, but we need a few basic tools. These are pretty dull, so I'm going to put a slightly better edge on them, an edge by my own hand, so it should be easier for me to repeat the process in the future. So basic tools I use are obviously a couple of whetstones that have been in there for about 10 minutes. It's still bubbling away, so there's an 800 which I use for the rough shaping, and a 1200 which I use for the finishing. As bizarre as it might seem, I clamp a tea towel to the side there because, believe it or not, that actually gives the stones something to grip to. I haven't bought a posh stand to put them on. Magnifying glass. There is a better tool laying around which I will show you a bit later once I've got a burr up. So since the last video like this that I've done, I actually have to start wearing glasses for close-up work, so you won't even notice that. Basically, the way I sharpen a knife these days is different to what I normally do, or what I used to do. I used to use a Lansky, whatever you want to call it, sharpening kit, which are all right, but they're a bit tedious, a bit small, blah blah blah. Now I use one of these stones, and I literally just bring a bevel up on one edge, bring a burr up, sorry, on one edge. But there's a bit of a trick to it, because obviously you can't just keep wearing one side of the knife away to bring up that burr. So you have to go down on this side and then maybe turn the knife over and go down on the other side to keep the bevel on the knife even. We don't want to end up with a bevel that's, it's hard to show with your hands, but a bevel that's really long on one side and short on the other side. I can show you an example of that. Bear with me. Right, so I don't know whether this will focus, but it's a bit hard to see. But this knife has a larger bevel on one side than it does on the other. So you can see on that side it's about 3 or 4 mil, whereas on this side it's only a couple. Now that's an example of a badly sharpened knife on my part. This knife my darling wife bought for me, but unfortunately it had serrations along the bottom, and I really don't like serrations at all. It's a bit of a waste of a blade, so I had to put a lot of effort into getting that serrations taken off. But hey, got there in the end. It's just not sharpened particularly well. It is very sharp, but it's just not sharpened well. There was of course one tool I forgot to mention. A chair, parking your bottom on, because you can be here a while when you're doing this. So the other tool I was talking about is this. I have to let the camera focus on it. There we go. This is one of my wife's tools. My wife is a foot health practitioner, and she uses this for examining feet, but it's also excellent for examining the edge of a knife. It's not so easy holding it in focus on the camera, but you get the drift. I can see on this blade, using this tool, whether I've drawn a good bevel or not. The light's a bit crap, but it's good enough. So this here Beaker doesn't have a particularly good edge on it, so we'll have our 500 stone out. I've got a gadget here for putting some water on the stone when I need to. This makes a very nice puddle on the floor in the kitchen. So we'll get you centered. There you go. I'll try and zoom you in a bit. Right, that's the best we can do on Zoom. Start recording. What I'm going to do is a very simple stroke. Trying to feel the edge of the blade that's there already, which I actually can't. It's going to be hard for you to see from there, but I'm going to do one firm stroke all the way out. And I'm going to continue to do this for as long as it takes to bring a burr up on this edge of the knife, the upper edge of the knife. Right, we'll have a little look, a little feel, and to see if it's done, we'll check the camera first. To see if we've created a burr, the first thing you can do is literally just run your finger off the edge. Yeah, if you feel something that might be like a burr, which there is on there, you use a magnifying glass. There's a tiny bit of a burr on there, or you use the wife's tool. Being very careful not to get it covered in knife sharpening crap. So the next step is to flip the knife over the other way first. I'm going to give this one last check. This is where you've got to be really careful, because you only want to take the bevel off. You don't want to do any more than take that bevel off. So literally do that and then check it. And that's got it. The bevel is gone. So now, let's swap over to my snapped 1200 stone. We do the same thing, but we do it with the other edge. Now the edge we just took the bevel off of. I took the burr off of. Bevel, it's a fucking burr. And we'll do the same process with 1200. There is a burr on that side. Now, again, same the other way. You literally only need a couple of strokes this way. And then that should be sharp. This is weird old paper as well as Christmas paper. It's not too bad. But certainly not great, but it is a lot better than it was. So, you know, for 10 or 15 minutes work, it's not too bad. So, that's my way, anyway. So a quick basic rundown, TLDR. Coarse stone, pick your face, one on the coarse stone until you get a burr come up on the opposite edge. Once that's burr come up, flip it over, take it off. Yeah, even on a coarse stone that should be sharp enough, but you can add a bit of refinement on it. Put the coarse stone out of the way, carrying on with the edge you just took the burr off of, run that on there until you get a burr on that edge, which keeps the knife a bit more even. Yeah, and once you've got a burr on the upper edge, turn it over, take it off again. I'm going to do this one and these other two now. This one is a lovely little knife. Had that for a long time. It was actually like DPM pattern, but it got left out in the sun one day. It's a fox knife. So thank you for taking the time to watch, boys and girls. I don't know if this will help you. It's not quite the traditional way of doing it. A lot of people like do 7 strokes this way, 7 strokes that way, 7 strokes this way, 7 strokes that way. Nah, if you first start sharpening a knife, the best kind of knife to go for is like a Scandi bevel knife, because that's just so fucking easy to sharpen. Sharpening a knife with a small edge like these knives is slightly more difficult. You can't really feel the angle, but if you stick to this method you should get a sharp knife at the end of it, and after you've done it a few times you'll get a really sharp one. That knife was, I should have showed you how blunt it was to start with, but it barely cut paper. Struggled to cut through an orange, to be honest with you. Now it's at least a bit better. I've never been particularly good at sharpening knives, but I'm getting better, slowly but surely. And now I've found this particular method, it should become a lot easier. Thanks for taking the time to watch, and see you on the next one.